Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys, I'm going to be doing my answers to the Q&A questions that you guys asked me about a week or so ago. There's a couple reasons why it took me so long to get this video done, and I do apologize if I sound like I'm out of breath. I just literally had to run from my car back to my school. It is freaking cold outside right now, and so I was like, if I run, I'll keep warm, so that's why I was running and why I'm out of breath currently. But I do apologize for taking so long to do this video. There's been a couple things going on. First off, I want to give enough time for people to give their feedback and ask me their questions. Second off, I've been very busy. I literally have 3 part-time jobs. If you want to consider the YouTube thing a job as well, that's 4 part-time jobs right there. Plus I'm taking care of my brother, trying to pay bills for the house and everything, so I'm very swamped, so to speak. So without further ado, after saying all that, let's get started to the questions that you guys asked me about a week or so ago. I never forgot about this. It was always in the back of my mind. I was just like, I can't do it right now. I got something more important to do. So again, I apologize. So first question is from Star Joker, and I have my computer in front of me, so that's why I'm answering the questions. And he asked me, what historical theme deck would you like Konami to make? What historical theme deck that I would like Konami to make? I'm probably going to do a video in the future just off this topic of archetypes I would like to see Konami make, because I love history and whatnot. There's a lot of cool, interesting historical archetypes I would like Konami to make. I've always wanted to see them make a, I guess you could say, kind of, because we have the Nordic gods and we have the Egyptian gods, for the most part, I've always wanted to see them expand into, having an archetype based around the gods of Greece. So, you have Zeus, you have, everything is there to make an archetype. Olympus could be the field spell, and it could revolve around Olympus. Granted, they did make one card based off one of the Greek gods, that being Athena, who was the protector of Athens. If you know the battle between Athena and Poseidon to see who was going to be the patriarch of Athens back in the day. But yes, I've always wanted to see an archetype based around the Greek gods. Other historical archetypes I've always wanted to see is, they already touched on knights, so I was okay with that. I always want them maybe to do like a crusades based off the different crusades. But the other things I'd like to see is maybe something based off the story called Beowulf. If you don't know what Beowulf is, type it into your Google search and you'll find a whole bunch of cool things about it. It's an old Nordic mythic tale. I guess you could say it was told by the Norse people, so the Vikings and whatnot from Finland and all up there, and Denmark and whatnot. It actually takes place, most of the stories takes place in Denmark and Sweden. But it was originally written down by English monks. It was like one of the first told stories written down from olden times. And it pretty much based around the king Beowulf and him slaying Grendel and Grendel's mother and him fighting a dragon. And there's just so much cool stuff there. I'm like, why haven't you made an archetype based off that? That'd be so freaking awesome to see that. But they haven't done that. And I keep saying to myself, you got Beowulf, a great story right in front of you. Why don't you do it? You've done it on Atlanteans, you've done it on the Nordics. Why not Beowulf? It's an awesome story. So my next question is, I'm probably going to go in more detail about that question later on. What cards would you like to, is from yugioh Troy, good friend of mine. He says, what cards would you like to see come back off the ban list, and what would break the meta, but will give power back to some old school fun decks? For example, Stratos for heroes, Dad to 2, etc. If you could give some older archetypes, minimum 2 years, some new cards to support them, what would it be, and what effects would you like to see them have? What cards can I see off the ban list come back? Stratos, I think, is one that I could see coming back. I really think somebody just has, in the R&D department at Konami, just has a thing against Stratos. It would just make heroes a little bit better. I don't think it would be game changer or meta breaking. I mean, as of right now, the ban list is not out, but they already have 3 Rhoda, they already have 3 Ecall, they have a Hero Lives, I mean, they have Shadow Mist that searches. What would Stratos do at 1? Really, what would it do against it? Other cards I could see coming back, oh my gosh. I'm trying to think of something that's broken that I could see maybe come back. I mean, Tribe Infecting Virus, I've always seen that coming back, but then again, I always say, Konami's not too keen on that. But I don't know really. Heavy could come back, but that helps pendulums out just as much as it does hurt them. You know, Heartbeat. I'm not going to get into all that. This is not a ban list video, but there's some. If I wanted to say old archetypes I would like to see new support for is Nordics with some new support, Dark Worlds with some decent new support, 6 Samurais is the main deck I want to see just like 1 or 2 new cards. Can't you do that, please? Gravekeepers, they already got the new support and it's been pretty good to help them out. I wish they would make like a Gravekeeper XYZ, but no matter what. Gadgets, I would like to see some, you know, they already made a new Machina about a year ago, Machina Fortress, the new one. I would like to see some more like gadget support, that would be interesting. They've just been getting so much good, I mean, tunes, I would like to see tunes be played with more properly. Give us some good standalone tunes, that would be nice. But beside that, I mean, I'm pretty happy with the way things are. I would like to see the one archetype, the one card that I've always wanted for a long time to come out is part of the Hunter archetype. If you know Hunters, and they were a good rank 4 spam deck back in the day, and they're still a pretty good rank 4 spam deck because they can exceed in synchro, is we have Ma Hunter, we have Pa Hunter, we have Sis Hunter, but where's Bro Hunter? There's no Bro Hunter. I just want to say I summoned Bro Hunter, but there's no Bro Hunter. So I've always been waiting on the 4th Hunter, but there's no 4th Hunter. So that's one card I'd like to see be made eventually. Yugi Moto asked me, who is your favorite Yu-Gi-Oh character and genre? What is your favorite anime other than Yu-Gi-Oh? It's kind of hard to answer. I would have to say pretty much my favorite, I've said this before recently, is my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh character is definitely Seto Kaiba, hands down. I do like Joey Wheeler for his antics. He's fun. Yugi's cool. Later on in the show, as he grows up, you see him mature. Yusei Fudo, I've always loved. But my number two favorite characters of all time are definitely Seto Kaiba and Akiza Ish. I can never pronounce Akiza's last name. I'm not even going to pronounce it, but Akiza from 5Ds. Those have been my 2 favorite characters of all time. Seto's my favorite guy character. Akiza's my favorite female character. Though I do love Yusei, and I do love Yuya from the new. Yuya is really awesome. I think he's developing it into his own from the new Arc 5. So I do like Yuya as well. What other anime do I watch? Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, any old anime that's from like Toonami or back in the day. Dragon Ball Z is my favorite, definitely. Pokemon is a close second. I even watched the Pokemon. I do like Attack on Titan, Girls and Panzers. I like that. Anything that's warlike, you know, I've always liked. Attack on Titan, I would have to say, is the newest one I like, not including the new Sailor Moons and Dragon Ball Z getting rebooted and whatnot, and that being pretty good. But yeah, those are the anime I watch. I don't get a lot of time to watch anime as much as I used to. I've just been so busy, but when I do, those are the things I do like watching. What are your top 5 favorite decks? Gravekeepers, number 1, 6 Samurais, number 2. Now fill in the top number 3 through number 5. I'm probably going to do a video on this in the future, but I'll tell you right now, probably Gravekeepers, 6 Samurais, Burning Abyss are a close third, but they don't take over Gravekeepers and 6 Samurais at all. I think what my other ones are. Geez, because after the first 2, it kind of like, it just depends what's into my liking, really, at the time. Well, Blue Eyes. What am I thinking? Okay, never mind. I can figure this list out. I forgot about the other decks that I play and have. So definitely Gravekeeper, 6 Samurais, Blue Eyes, Dark Magician, and then I would have to say Burning Abyss is number 5. Why Burning Abyss? Because I just like the artwork and the way the deck works. So. That's why. Do you support the idea of a 20 extra? This is from Kyuyo Senpayu. I can't pronounce names, and I do apologize. Maybe not a 20 thing extra deck limit, but I do support maybe like a 18 extra deck limit, or a 17 or 18. Somewhere in there. Not 20. I feel is like a little bit too much. Most decks don't even use their extra deck a lot, unless you're pendulum summoning or your synchrons, but I feel like 16, 17, or 18, one of those three numbers would be perfectly fine to bump the extra deck up to, because it really needs to. I think that's one of the reasons Konami made pendulums, is because they're like, you know what, if we make another extra deck based thing, we got fusions already that use extra decks, we already got exceeds and synchros, then we'll probably have to bump up the extra deck, but they didn't do it. But I think in the future it may get bumped up if Konami wants to play with the extra deck a little bit more. What do you think of the card Belize? If you use him right, he can be almost unbreakable. This is from Ed Hazard. It's a good card. I do like it in the decks that can make it, but it's not an unbeatable card. It's a very strong card, but there are ways of getting around it. That's the thing with that card. But it is a very good card. Do you have, this is from OOJEDF. Do you have a PS4? If you did get Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist, and if you have it, what are your thoughts on it, or do you enjoy it or not? I do not have a PlayStation 4. The last game console I personally owned was PlayStation 2. I did have a PlayStation 3 when they first came out, but mine broke and I never replaced it. So literally for the last, since I graduated high school in 2009, I've pretty much been playing on PlayStation 2. I have all the old PlayStation 2 games, but I never really got into PlayStation 3. I pretty much just stayed at PlayStation 2 and never went past that. I mean, I used to play Call of Duty all the time, but I didn't play the modern Call of Duty games. I've never really been into those, except the ones that are based off World War II, like, the stuff like that. I've always loved about Call of Duty, but, I haven't played game consoles in a while. I mean, I'm not into that stuff as I've grown older for some weird reason, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just stuck with me. Let's see what we got next. Hopefully we can maybe get this all into one video. This is from Kaiju Senpai again. If you can unban one card, what would it be? Gateway of the Six. I agree with you. You said mine would be Gateway of the Six. I agree with Gateway of the Six. I want to see that card back at 1. If you could ban one card, what would it be? One card I could ban. What one card would I ban? Honestly, there's nothing. Personally, there's not a single card I would actually ban. People might say, oh my gosh, really? No, there's not really anything that I feel that is so uberly broken that it would need to be banned. Maybe Vanity's Emptiness, but Soul Charge? Maybe. But even those, I'm perfectly fine at 1. They really help my decks out, and they really help other people's decks out, so what have you. If you can limit it one card, what would it be? Your choice would be, he says, lose 1 turn. If I could, I would say Stratos. I don't know why it's on the list still. It's the only card that I look at the ban list and I'm just like, why are you on here? There's other cards like Sangian, that's fine. If I could semi-limit a card, it would be Tour Guide, because I've always loved that card in different decks. Not just Dark Worlds and Burning Abyss, just other decks that you can run that engine. It's very good. She's her own engine, but I understand why she's at 1. If you could semi-limit a card, what would it be? I would say definitely Royal Tribute. Not Royal Tribute for Gravekeepers. Yeah, I want that card back at 2, so I can play Gravekeepers for fun. Next is from Junior RC. Do you think the new Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie coming could originate a sequel to a new series? Like, for example, what happened with Dragon Ball Z Super? I don't think so. It depends what time they release it in 2016. We don't have an exact date when it's going to be even released in Japan. But I highly doubt it. If it's coming at the end of 2016, maybe it will hit at a new arc. But from what I've seen of the trailers and everything, I don't quite see that. It's taking only 5 or 6 months past when the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series ended in the manga, and this movie is actually based off the manga, so it's not going to be based off the show as much, I think, as the manga. Why did you start playing Yu-Gi-Oh? Because all my friends were playing it, and I thought Blue Eyes White Dragon was the shit. Excuse my French. And I had fun playing with my brother. It was something me and my brother could actually have fun playing, and we really had, besides Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Digimon, we didn't have much that we played together with, so it was really fun growing up with my brother playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and he became good at it. I mean, he topped Dragon Duelist back in the day. Okay, we have Soul Slayer 20910. I think, guys, we'll have to make this into a two-part episode, so we'll see how much we can get done now. Last time I did a Q&A video, we had to go to 2 parts. Next, he asked me, Soul Slayer 20910 asked me, GX gods or OCG gods? OG gods, preference-wise. The GX gods, I always feel like were just copies of the original gods, just like different forms. And so honestly, compared to the the Nodens and the old Vindictive and stuff like that, personally, I like just the original gods because the show was really based around them. I mean, look at ever since, like, from Battle City onwards, the gods were there. But after the GX gods, what happened to them? Nothing. But if you have to ask me, I would say my 2 favorite gods is definitely the Nordic gods and then the original Yu-Gi-Oh gods. So really like neck and neck. It just depends upon the day you ask me. Have you seen Season 0? And tell me your thoughts on it. What do you think? Oh, Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Season 0 of Yu-Gi-Oh! If you've never watched it, watch it. It's amazing. I felt that it really was freaking dark. Kind of made me feel like that time I watched Dan Green be in Black Bible saying cluck like a chicken. That kind of ruined my childhood there for a second. But, don't look that up. But, that's a porn video, by the way, that Dan Green did, the voice of Yugi and whatnot. He did cluck like a chicken. Oh dear gosh. But seeing Yugi freaking light a guy on fire and kill him, and just some of the dark sides of that. I mean, it explained their, Duelist Kingdom a lot better by watching Season 0. But it was very dark, and I see why it never made it over here, and even in Japan, why they considered it too dark for that time era. Next we have Limpin, Lilly, I can't pronounce this. What was the first deck that you ever made? First booster pack brought, and starter structure deck brought. So I think we're going to end it on this because I want to spend the rest of this video talking about it, and then we'll get to everybody's else questions after this. So what was the first deck I ever bought? If you want to consider the Seto Kaiba structure deck the first deck I ever bought and played, then yes, that would be the first deck I ever bought and played. Granted, pretty much I bought 3 Seto Kaiba structure decks and 1 Yu-Gi-Moto structure deck. My brother brought another Yu-Gi-Moto structure deck. So pretty much what I did is I just took Summon Skull. Once I pretty much just he used the 2 Yu-Gi structure decks, I used the 3 Seto Kaiba structure decks because I wanted freaking 3 Blue Eyes in my deck with the original artwork because I literally love Blue Eyes, and if it wasn't for Blue Eyes I probably wouldn't have gotten to the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Really. So honestly, we can thank Blue Eyes White Dragon for getting me, and Blue Eyes and Seto Kaiba pretty much got me into the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuck me from there. But first competitive deck I played was pretty much Beatdown, and I'm talking like using Blazing Impachi and back when Stone Soldier was like the best thing next to sliced bread. I did for a short while with my brother, we did put together a clown deck. And I'm not talking Clown Blade or clowns. I'm talking old school clowns using like Class Clown and Dream Clown, which was counteractive to what the original Beatdown type of decks were for that day because you could put them in defensive mode and run over them. So that's one of the first competitive decks I played. After that, between Beatdown and that, pretty much I just played that all the way up until we had, what was that set called? Until we had BLS and Chaos Emperor Dragon came out, and those thick cards were expensive, so I really didn't play with those decks until after the first ban list came out. I did play with a couple of friends. We did put together a deck around BLS and Chaos Emperor Dragon, but it was right before Chaos Emperor Dragon got the reprint, and then he got banned, I remember. Did he get, no, he didn't get the reprint, but my friend pretty much had the Chaos Emperor Dragon. He was had rich parents, and then he had BLS. But I had all the other cards, the commons and whatnots that you played, the standard staples of that era. Things like your Monster Reborn before it got banned originally, your Mirror Forces and whatever. I had all that stuff at the time. So pretty much he had the two expensive cards.